Our headlines: Department of Foreign Affairs says the Philippines maintains its commitment on the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea.
Department of Social Welfare and Development official says the agency does not request for 27 billion pesos fund for AKAP.
Pastor Apollo Quiboloy challenged to appear in the next hearing of the Senate on Monday.
1 dead and no less than 21 wounded in Missouri Super Bowl shooting.
And San Miguel Beerman reigns as 48th PBA Commissioner's Cup champion. Good evening, bringing you the latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN PELOBELLO.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is your TV News Thread.
The Philippine government has maintained its commitment in the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea, following the recent pronouncement of Chinese Consul General saying that Beijing will never recognize the 2016 arbitral ruling. More details in this report.
The Department of Foreign Affairs maintained the Philippines' commitment in its position regarding the negotiations on the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea between the Southeast Asian countries. This was subsequently made a statement by Foreign Ministry of China. According to Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo, the ongoing tensions in the South China Sea is just not leading the conflict but a manifestation of legitimate rights and interests that must be protected. It is said that the violations of international laws and what was stated in the United Nations cause a conflict, saying that this is a clear judgment. Manalo also expressed concern over the tensions ongoing in Taiwan and encouraged Beijing and Taiwan to maintain good relations. Chinese Consul General Shang Shen recently said that Beijing will never recognize the 2016 arbitral ruling on the South China Sea. Just this week, when the Philippine Navy spotted 14 Chinese vessels in parts of Kalayaan Island Group in the West Philippine Sea. Alvin Pelobello for EuroTV News.
The Philippine Coast Guard on Thursday said it recovered its official Twitter or X account after it was temporarily compromised early in the morning. In a statement, the PCG Coast Guard Public Affairs Service,
the Department of Foreign Affairs maintained the Philippines'
assistance of X-Tech support system after its compromise. This is why the PCG urges the general public to be cautious when receiving succeeding tweets from the said account. The agency also clarified that there is no sign of hacking. They use the term compromise after they have not monetized any malicious utilization of the account, specifically malicious tweets. As of 11:30 a.m. today, the PCG announced that they had regained full control of their X account and strengthened their security measures to protect their account against security breaches. The PCG has not yet disclosed the possible motive of the compromise. After being involved to Ayuda scam and in People's Initiative and currently in Ayuda sa Kapos ang Kita or AKAP, the Department of Social Welfare and Development clarifies that they did not request for 27 billion pesos fund. Details on this report. The SWD Assistant Secretary for Strategic Communication Romel Lopez clarified that they did not request the funds for the Ayuda sa Kapos ang Kita program or AKAP during the hearings, but Lopez insisted that they only asked for additional funds like other agency. This was the response of the agency after being involved again in the issue of the AKAP program that was found in their program list. Recently, Senator Amy Marcos revealed that the total fund of the AKAP in the General Appropriations Act of 2024 is worth of 60 billion pesos. 27 billion pesos were found in the DSWD and the remaining amount is yet to be discovered.
Alam naman pa natin kung paano nabubuo ang budget. Mag-start sa House, aakyat po sa Senado, both houses of Congress, sa komite hanggang plenary, nandyan po ang debate. Kami po ay parte kami noon dahil yan po talagang pinapangarap ng kahit siguro anong ahensya na medyo madagdagan yung budget. But then after the plenary, pagdating sa BICAM, talagang wala na po kaming control doon. Fingers crossed na lang po kami umaasa na madadagdagan yung aming budget. Kaya nung lumabas po itong AKAP, na nabanggit na rin ng ating kalihim Secretary Rex Gatchalian, na even last year, nag-i-explore na po tayo ng mga programa para doon sa mga near poor, sa mga minimum wage earners, sa mga low income earners na susceptible nga po na mag-slide sa poverty o kung naitawid man natin yung mga 4-piece beneficiary, mag-slide back sa poverty, yun ang nais natin.
As Secretary Rex Gatchalian said earlier, not a cents have been deducted from the ACA fund because the agency will still develop guidelines on how to use the large fund. Moreover, the agency reiterated that no politicians can say that an individual can enter their program without going through a social worker assessment. Even if there is a referral system, it is not guaranteed that those they approach will get into the agency. This was Lopez's answer regarding the spread text blast. All soft projects such as DSWD's AIX, DOLE's Tupad, and DOH MAEP must go through the House Speaker Office.
Ating kapatid na media na nagtanong kanina, it's not even assurance, di ba? Na ikaw man i-repair kung sino man o dumaan ka man kung kanino man, hindi po talaga assurance yun. Hindi po talaga assurance yun na 110% ay may mangyayari, may payout. Ganun din po sa pangako na pumirma ka man kung saan-saan, hindi rin po. Kasi at the end of the day, yung ating mga social workers na mag-a-assist sa'yo ang makakapagsabi if you're eligible, if you're qualified. At the end of the day, Special Disbursement Officer lang po namin na makakapag-abot sa'yo ng iyong payout at wala na.
Lopez reminded the public that again, it is not necessary to sign the circulating signature collection in exchange for their benefit in the program.
Kahit ulit-ulit ho natin sasabihin, hindi ho requirement ang pag-participate sa anumang political initiative. Hindi po yan prerequisite for you to be able to avail yung aming mga programs. And then at the same time, hindi po yan disqualifying factor for you not to avail yung ating mga programs and services. Kung kayo po'y nangangailangan, kayo po'y pasok sa aming mga guidelines, namimit nyo yung mga requirements, kayo po ay entitled sa anumang assistance ng DSWD. Hindi po kami nagdagdag, hindi po kami nagbawas ng mga requirements, at lalong-lalong hindi na namin kailangan, yung pagpirma nyo sa kahit.
This is KRIZZA Lopez for Euro TV News.
The Senate of the Philippines are challenging religious Pastor Apollo Kibuloy to appear in the next hearing regarding the allegations filed against him. Henry Nicolas tells us more.
Senator Riza Ontiveros revealed on Thursday that she had already pressed Senate President Mig Zubiri to issue a subpoena against Kingdom of Jesus Christ Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Ontiveros said that she already sent a letter to Zubiri asking him to approve the subpoena. However, she can't explain why the letter hasn't been signed until now. And, furthermore, she will still push for the Senate hearing on Monday. This is related to the ongoing Senate hearing regarding the involvement of Kibuloy in alleged large-scale human trafficking, rape, sexual abuse, and child abuse. Ontiveros stated that if it is true that Kibuloy is innocent, he will voluntarily show up and face the Senate hearing.
Mayroon po kaming ebidensya ng pagbabanta kay alias Amanda at alias Jerome at sa iba pang mga balak na mag-witness. Malala, may ibang mga miyembro ng Kingdom na mukhang inutusan na makipag-ugnayan sa opisina ko para magkunwaring tetestigo tungkol sa mga pang-aabuso ng leader nila. Pero ang totoong pakay pala ay pagmukhang walang kwenta ang hearings ng Senado. Ang kapal, di ba?
The senator also added that if Kibuloy has nothing to hide, he should just appear before the Senate to clear his name, even without a formal subpoena. It is also asserted that Hontiveros has evidence regarding the threat to alias Amanda, who first revealed her experience at the hands of Quiboloy. Meanwhile, Senator Hontiveros also disclosed that KOJC members allegedly tried to infiltrate their offices and pretend to testify against him.
At kay Apollo Quiboloy, dapat managot kayo. Hindi lamang dito sa pagtatangka mong paghadlang sa isang lehitimong investigasyon ng Senado, kundi lalo na sa sistematikong pang-aabuso na ginawa nyo laban sa kababaihan, sa kabataan, at sa mga pinaka-vulnerable sa lipunan.
Quiboloy first said that he will not face any hearing that will be done by the Senate and will only face it in the Court of the Republic of the Philippines. This is Henry Nicolas for EuroTV News.
We will be taking a very short break. Don't get away as EuroTV News Thread returns.
As the Department of Social Welfare and Development continued the response to the affected areas of shear line and the shaft of low pressure area, the Undersecretary of the agency reveals that they have disbursed more than 400 million pesos of assistance to the victims of weather condition. More from this report. The Department of Social Welfare and Development has already distributed more than 450 million pesos in aid to residents affected by the shear line and shaft of the low-pressure area. According to the data released by Undersecretary Diana Rose Cahipe, there is a total of 489,319,999 pesos worth of intervention that the agency has given in Region 5. This is the total value of family food packs, cash assistance such as AIX and ECT and non-food items. Based on the agency's data, the agency has released 510,970 family food packs in Region 5 and 2,041 non-food items, and more than 14,000 beneficiaries have been given financial assistance. Meanwhile, in Davao Region, the agency has released an amount of 371,157,232 million in aid for residents. This includes the family food packs, non-food items, and cash assistance that were given out. Also, in the Caraga Region, the agency has already provided 87,705,115 pesos in aid. Undersecretary Cahipe reiterated that the agency, especially Secretary Rex Gatchalian, is trying to provide the needs of those affected by the disaster, such as going to and visiting the disaster site itself.
Ang ginagawa po ng ating mahal na Secretary Rex Gatchalian ngayon is that siya po mismo, he goes to the ground. Kami po ay nagsischedule po ng meeting sa mismong mga lugar na kung saan ang mga kalamidad ay nangyayari. And ang ginagawa po ng ating secretary or ng kalihim is that he talks to the local chief executives at tinatanong po ano ho ba ang kailangan na tulong. We do not just give o magbigay po tayo ng tig-isang family food packs o magbigay po tayo ng 3,000, 4,000. Hindi po ganun ang ginagawa ng ating secretary. He based it from the needs and what type of disaster that is currently happening all over the Philippines po. Kung
The Undersecretary further explained that direct communication with local governments and other government agencies is important for the agency to determine the needs. It is said that in this way, the doubling in distribution of aid will be avoided and the relief goods will be properly given to the victims.
Napakahalaga po kasi ng dialogo o yung pag-uusap kasi nalalaman po namin on how much, how many family food packs, how much financial assistance ang kakayanin po nating maibigay to this affected population. And it's the least that the DSWD can do to help. But of course, ito po ay subject sa availability ng ating mga fundings, but we maximize this through the help of the other agencies para hindi po nagpapatong-patong yung tulong, para hindi doble-doble ang pagbibigay ng family food packs or the financial assistance that is being given to this specific or this community that is affected by a particular.
This is KRIZZA Lopez for Euro TV News.
The casualties on Davao de Oro landslide have been buried, but the search, rescue, and retrieval operations continues. Vanessa Cleofas reports.
After the recent landslide in Maco, Davao de Oro that took the lives of those who were covered by the landslide, the family of the victims buried their loved ones while the retrieval and rescue operation are still ongoing for the missing victims. Governor Dorothy Gonzaga and Congressman Ruel Peter Gonzaga have personally visited the family to extend their deepest condolences and sympathy. The family also hopeful that the provincial government of Maco, Davao de Oro will help them to assist their needs. According to the provincial government of Davao de Oro, the unexpected tragedy happened after the recent rains in Maco. Based on the situational report of the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office of Davao de Oro, 71 individuals have been recorded dead in the said tragedy while 38 are still missing and 32 are injured. Of that total numbers of casualties, some of them have only been found with parts of their bodies while others have not yet been identified by their families. As of now, the rescue and retrieval operation of various government agencies is in full swing to find individuals who have not been seen after the tragedy. Meanwhile, among those who died and became victims of such a landslide are those who live in around Barangay Masara. Minors who were riding the bus that was temporarily parked were about to leave but unfortunately, they were covered by a landslide. However, an incident can be considered a natural disaster. Congressman Gonzaga still wants that tragedy to be investigated, especially since the area around the scene of the landslide is a no-build zone. The congressman is said to have filed a resolution in the chamber to investigate the incident. Some of the victims who have not yet been identified by their families were temporarily buried as part of health and safety protocols. It can be remembered that the landslide happened on February 6, 2024. Vanessa Cleofas for Your TV News.
In related story, President Marcos has thanked the United States government with their assistance to the victims of the landslide in Mindanao. More from this report.
President Bongbong Marcos Jr. expressed his gratitude to the United States for its assistance to the communities affected by the recent disaster in Mindanao. During the visit of U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines Mary Kay Carlson in Malacanang Palace, he said that Washington has promised to bring 2 C-130s from the Indo-Pacific Command to deliver relief assistance to the victims of landslide in Mindanao. The U.S. has also pledged $1.25 million as emergency support for the families affected. The remains of 85 victims of the landslide in Maco, Davao de Oro have been buried. According to the local government of Maco, 38 people are still being sought by the authorities. The search, rescue, and retrieval operations of the authorities in the landslide hit the area on February 6 is still ongoing. ALVIN for Euro TV News.
The Philippine Health Insurance will increase the coverage benefits for its members. Vanessa Cleofas tells us more.
Following the House Speaker Martin Romualdez's recent call to the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or PhilHealth to increase the benefit that its members get, the agency has raised its coverage benefit to 50% from the previous 30%. The increase only means that the hospital bills of those with PhilHealth will be significantly reduced, almost half of what the agency members will pay and covered by PhilHealth. However, it is currently being studied how it can be implemented and when it will be implemented. The said increase could be implemented this year, especially House Speaker Martin Romualdez speeding it up to reduce the said payment by the members in the hospital. Meanwhile, according to House Deputy Majority Leader for Communication Erwin Tulfo, hospital bills, doctors' fees, professional fees and other are covered by the 50% coverage benefit. Vanessa Cleofas for EuroTV News.
For stories around the globe, one person died while at least 21, majority were children, got injured after a shooting incident at a Super Bowl victory rally in Kansas City, Missouri. According to the authorities, 16 children were injured in the shooting incident. According to Kansas police, 3 people are already in the custody of the authorities after the incident. The investigation continues to determine the motive of the crime. Authorities have recorded 9 gunshots that caused life-threatening injuries to the victims.
For the sports update, after 6 games on the Best of 7 League, San Miguel Beermen has claimed the trophy as this year's Commissioner's Cup champion. Mia Liagin tells us more.
Begging this year, the SMB also extended their winning record, with this being the 29th trophy in the league, with the final score 108 to 102 and 4-2 standing. The SMB ended Magnolia's hope to regain championship since their last win in 2018. CJ Perez reigns as the most valuable player, finishing off 6 games with 28 total points. All throughout the game 6, points distance were less than 10 points every end of each quarters, but the Beerman team still claimed the victory. SMB coach George Gallant expressed the gratitude towards the players, coaches, staffs, and all of their team as they all worked hard together to reach this result. It is also Gallant's first championship title since he became a SPBA coach. KRIZZA Aquino shared the current state of her health. Here's Sam Martos for the entertainment details.
After a long time that the queen of all media, KRIZZA Aquino, was not seen on television, she once again granted an interview with the king of talk, Tito Bayabunda, yesterday on the program Past Talk, coinciding with her birthday. Kris shared the current challenges she is facing regarding with health and illnesses she is experiencing. According to the actress, 3 weeks along with the former President Ninoy Aquino's 64th birthday on February 8, 2024, she had a regular blood panel or blood donation, where she had a blood drawn from, but according to the doctor, the result was not good. Kris also mentioned that she developed comorbidity and lung disease. She also reportedly contracted the COVID-19 virus when she went to California. She also concerned about the decline in her hemoglobin. Currently, she has also 5 autoimmune diseases. Despite this, Kris thanked his friends including Tito Boy, Miss Jessica Soho, GMA Network, and her close friend and promised to keep fighting.
Ang pangako ko sa inyo, hindi ko kayo bibiguin dahil sumuko ako. Wala sa pananaw ko sa buhay na pwedeng sumuko. Kailangan lumaban. Hindi ko ipapahiya ang sarili ko sa inyo dahil binigyan niyo ako ng pinakamagandang regalo. Yung pagmamahal ninyo at pagsuporta ninyo at yung pagdarasal ninyo. Kasi wala naman akong nagawa para sa inyo. Pero kayo, sobra yung binibigay niyo sa akin na lakas. Because I know na you're praying for me. And that's the biggest gift anyone can give.
Okay.
Can I just say, boy, para sa mga kapatid ko, I miss them so much. I love them so much, but it's so hard. And to all my friends also who are there, sa lahat ng mga gumawa ng paraan, just last week, nandito si Dingdong Avansado, yung aking inaanak, na nag-spend talaga ng 4 na oras para makipagkwentuhan sa akin. Malalaman mo kung sino talaga yung matotoong mong kaibigan. Dahil talaga gagawa at gagawa sila ng paraan. I want to say thank you also to you for making this happen. Thank you to Mr. Duavit and Miss Annette and everybody in GMA. Dahil kayo ang nagbigay sa akin ng venue para ma-explain sa mga tao kung anong nangyayari. And also to our friend, Miss Jessica Soho, kasi boy, alam mo naman na sa kanya nakapangako yung interview na to, pero nung nalaman niya na sa'yo ko binigay, wala siya talagang pag-aalinlangan. Dahil alam niya na you are like a brother to me.
This is Sam Martos for Euro TV Showbiz News.
And that's the latest news for tonight. You may visit yourtvph.com for more news and information. Once again, this is KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our broadcast live in our social media accounts and via Pinoy Extreme channel. I'm ALVIN PELOBELLO. This is your TV News Thread. Stay safe and have a good night, everyone.